Hello, this is Angelo, and we are here with the Life Coaching Masterclass for March. Today is a very special masterclass. I want you to bear with me because the theme has to do with the Greek Revolution that is celebrated on the 25th of March, and this is why I have chosen the title, The Power of Inner Revolution. Of course, we are not here to learn about history. We are here to let history teach us how we will reach the level of happiness and success we so much deserve and desire. Before we begin, as always, I want to thank you for being here, and I want to congratulate you for being here because especially these days, especially in this day and age, so few people are putting their attention to what matters to them the most. Usually, they go through the day mostly on what I call, let's say, robot mode, basically. They are letting their subconscious take over completely or almost entirely. And what they notice is simply at the end of the week, the month, or the year that they do not have made the shifts they desire. Of course, you want to switch off your phone or at least all your notifications and make sure you close all the other tabs on the laptop, desktop, or tablet that you're watching this masterclass from. For the next 30 minutes or so, it's just you and me in this world and what we will be discussing here. Make sure that you are fully focused. Make sure you let go all the other thoughts, all the other distractions in your mind, and especially what John Kehoe is calling the great trickster, the attitude of your mind that is holding you back, let's say. Of course, you're more than welcome to keep notes, but always remember that you have the replay at your disposal if you want to do so, and be fully present here and leave the notes for later. Last but not least, I want to remind you that we have crossed the point of no return. And what that means to you basically is that the only outcome that you allow in your consciousness from now on is that you are landing happily and safely at your desired destination. Now, how do you feel? The question with which I am beginning all the masterclasses, and the question that you want to be asking yourself many times during the day, simply because the better you feel, the higher the quality of your present is, and at the same time, the more energy you have towards your destination. And of course, if you're not feeling as well as you desire and as you deserve, you know now that you can practice the exercises of perspective, forgiveness, love, gratitude, and happy landing to elevate yourself to the point of happy and unstoppable. This is our thermostat, let's say, here in these masterclasses. This is like the best way to be going through your day, because from that state, you feel great, and at the same time, you're at the optimum operating state. Let's say you're in a state of flow, and you feel that you're not going against the current. Basically, you feel, you notice more synchronicities. Everything becomes easier for you. So let's dive in. So let's say almost 400 years ago, and almost 600 years ago now, it was the time that Greece as a country lost its freedom. And of course, you might have heard of the Greek Revolution of 1821. And now, of course, it's all a bit over 200 years from that revolution. And what I want to begin talking about today is, why did the Greeks procrastinate for almost 40 years under various, let's say, forms of occupation? And the answer is simple. Because in most cases, it was comfortable for them. This is the number one reason. So if you dive into history, you will notice that every time that the Greeks, were a bit, like not at, let's say, not at ease with their situation of occupation, right? They would be given, like a piece of land or some kind of treats or whatever, and they would basically keep their mouths shut for another 10 or 20 years. And this is very important for us because the moral of this story is that no revolution can be initiated without a powerful why. So why did the Greeks procrastinate? Their why was not strong enough. The why to keep, let's say, Greece in an occupied system, whatever that means, of course, would be higher. So what you want now is to go through your why and ask yourself, why go about the trouble, let's say, and all these changes so that I can get from where I am to where I want to go? And the moment you will find this distinctive why that speaks to the core of your being, that makes your heart sing, you will find yourself jumping off bed in the morning and going through all kind of obstacles and limitations because now you know that there is no other way for you. You have to make it happen because your why is so strong. So this is step number one. And what you see here now, let's go to step number two, is what we would call decision time. And this church of Saint Apostles is the church where the Greek leaders made their oath. And you might have read or heard that basically what they said was freedom or death. But we will talk about this a bit later. What matters, though, is that it was not like a mere decision. And maybe you have read my daily sort of inspiration yesterday, right? So they didn't say, like, okay, let's have a revolution and we'll see how it goes. No, they were so committed that they have decided to say freedom or death. And at the same time, they used a church outside of a church or inside. I don't know that detail. But what mattered is that they had like a piece of paper, basically, with some kind of declaration, and they have all signed and they have made their oath of commitment to that revolution. And this part is important because many times I've heard people say, from my family, friends, people that I coach, I have made the decision, enough is enough, I have decided. And sure enough, a few days later, they're negating their own decision. So a decision is not something that you make once and you forget about it. A decision is something that you commit. So you may have heard me say before that nothing will stand in the way of a decided soul. But I want to borrow now three words that that I know you know from the exercise of forgiveness. So in the exercise of forgiveness, we say, I forgive sincerely, completely, and irrevocably, simply to state that we are actually forgiving something, right? So in the same manner, you can say now, I am deciding sincerely, completely and irrevocably to do this, that, or the other, to go there, to make this change in my life, to lose so many pounds or kilos, or to make 1 million this year, and so on. And you want to make sure that every single cell of your being, from the trillions of the cell of your body, agree. There is an alignment. It's important to realize that your decision is not something that you mouth, a few words that you mouth. It is something that shapes your destiny. And you want to remember that the more committed you are, the easier every single change will be. Simply because you have decided that the only fixed point in the universe is your destination, and everything else can and will change. Next, freedom or death, as I said before, this was the motto. And basically, when you say something like this, what you hear in your mind is freedom or freedom, success or success, happiness or happiness. Basically, when you have a plan B, you have not yet decided. And at the same time, imagine yourself being in the fanciest, most expensive, most technologically advanced car in the world, with the best possible GPS system, with all the military satellites aiding this GPS system, and you giving 2 or 3 destinations to that GPS. How on earth will that GPS chart a course? It's impossible. Simply because you're giving, like too many destinations. You must have one. Those who chase 2 rabbits catch none, right? But at the same time, what you want to remember is the fixedness of purpose is the very beginning. You're putting yourself on a winning state from the very beginning simply by committing to a fixed purpose. Next, many times our 5 senses give us a completely distorted, basically, overview of what we perceive as reality. And if you go to the doctor, and the doctor might say, you know what, your vision, your hearing, and everything is fantastic. It is like perfect state. And you might feel, leaving the doctor with a smile that you're healthy and everything. But at the same time, these 5 senses give you like a very limited overview of what reality is. And at the same time, you tend to realize that from a very young age, we were trained to perceive reality only from the feedback that we got from these 5 senses. So every time we stumble upon a challenge in our lives, we look around because this is what we know. This is how we've been trained for. So we look around for trouble, right? Who is here like negating my way forward and my way towards success? But what you want to remember is that you're not fighting a tangible enemy, excuse me. You're fighting your limiting beliefs in your mind. This is the real enemy, because the more advanced your beliefs become, the different perception of reality you have. And this is why we say many times that our eyes are not simply receivers, or our hearing is not simply receiver. It's a transmitter also, because what you notice in life is that the different your beliefs become, the different perception you have of reality. So there are many things going on in our lives, but we filter only the things that agree with our beliefs. Everything else we cannot see. This is why we may miss investing opportunities, or we may miss like the perfect person that is for us, like our soulmate for our lives, like the ideal person for an amazing relationship and so on. This is why we might not get the promotion or the raise we were so much hoping for, because we missed these little details because our beliefs didn't agree with that. Somewhere deep in your mind, maybe on an unconscious level, because you didn't let it be clear and surface out, you may have thought that, you know what, I don't deserve this raise, I don't deserve this promotion. And this belief blocked what need to happen for you to get that raise or promotion. Next, what it truly takes to succeed. And many times we are, especially those of us who are, like kind of in love with personal development, we might say, you know what, I need a higher level of self-confidence, or I need to go to another seminar, or I need to read at least a dozen more books and be, like optimize my skills and so on. And I need this, that, or the other, but there is basically one thing only that you need to make this inner revolution today, right now, that no matter what, you will arrive at your destination. Enough is enough. For you to begin today with an inner revolution that basically virtually guarantees your success, you need only one thing, and that is the whatever it takes attitude. So when you begin, you don't know what you need to succeed. You will find out in the process. But the only thing that must be there with you from moment one is this whatever it takes attitude. Meaning that you will not give up simply because, raising capital or doing this, that, or the other was a bit harder than you thought or anticipated. So at the same time, with this attitude, again, going back to the senses that we talked about before, you will realize that with this attitude, more opportunities appear for you in order to make your vision a reality. Next, the body says more than, much, much more than your mouth. And what I mean by that is that our body language and the way we operate all day long gives us a very important, a very significant, basically a vital feedback that almost no one is taking into account so that they can optimize their attitude, their state, and achieve what they want to achieve. And that is that your actions during the day reveal who is winning in your mind. So you may have heard Tony Robbins say that if someone is like with immense self-confidence, right, you will notice that their shoulders are back, they're looking up, they're fully energized. And at the same time, if someone has a low level of self-confidence, their shoulders will arch back forward and they will look a bit down and things like that. At the same time, though, you will notice it's not just your body language. The things that you do, if your beliefs are on, let's say your belief level is low, you will realize that your actions are also low. The quality, the effectiveness of your actions is low simply because your performance, your posture, everything is an immediate reflection of your current belief system. So your belief system basically rules your operating system. And this is why every time you see yourself that you are not performing at your best, don't, go berserk on you and say, what am I doing right now? And this is not enough. And start self-beating yourself, basically. What you want to do is ask yourself, how did I feel and what did I think about myself and my level of success, like the moment before? Was I happy and unstoppable, marching unstoppable towards my super self and my super life? Or was I thinking, oh, I might fail again. Oh, this doesn't look good, and things like that. So now you have basically, it's as if you have installed a new sensor in your body. And now you know that the moment you notice that you're a bit sluggish, your actions are not as effective. You go through the day, as Jim Rohn used to say, majoring in minor things. You want to make a course correction, not in what you do, because you cannot change what you do before you change your mindset. So immediately you will go through again the exercises of perspective, forgiveness, love, gratitude, and happy landing. Align yourself with who you want to become. Make in your mind you and your super self one. And from that empowered state, you begin and do completely different things. And even if you do the same thing, the same presentation, like I'm doing here, okay, the slides are fixed, but my attitude is fluid. It depends on how good my preparation was. And I made sure before this webinar, I had a power walk, and then I had a brief meditation and my affirmations and everything, so that I can make sure my attitude is good enough so that I can deliver to you and help you make that necessary shift, right? So with fixed slides and everything else, the lighting is fixed, the microphone is fixed and everything, the camera is fixed, but my attitude depends on my preparation. And I prepare myself so that I can deliver to the best possible capacity that I am right now, leaving as few things to chance, let's say, as possible, almost nothing to chance, and making sure that I have the attitude to help you make that mental and emotional shift and march unstoppable towards your super self. Now, a lot of you want to make this battle and win this battle basically against your limiting beliefs, against all the other limitations that are going on in your lives. Like, it's not just a belief, right? It could be like a habitual thing from a very young age that you had, or something like an event that happened early in your life that conditioned you. So it's not just like the droplets of beliefs that we have during our lives. Maybe it's a significant event as well. In any case, maybe you have the wrong address, let's say. So you're going for your big battle and you're ready to smash all your limitations, and you see no one there. You know why? Because you're not fighting your past. What you want in order to win is to make peace with your future. And this is why the happy landing exercise is, from my point of view, after 16 years of deep studying of personal development and all the aspects of happiness and success, I still believe that this is your number one, in terms of effectiveness, your number one action during the day. Because happy landing prepares you with what you will achieve, prepares you with how you are, how you feel if you are to arrive at your destination. And this, every time you perform the happy landing exercise, you're making the proper, the right neural pathways in your mind. And this is why you want to make sure that you let go completely of your past, forgive what needs to be forgiven, and let it go. Make it actually as use it only as the foundation. We don't want to forget our past. Our past has happened and brought us here. We want to feel gratitude for everything that happened because it brought us here. And it also, even if we have like immense levels of failure, it also has given us immense levels of inner fire to achieve what we want to achieve, right? So it's like the pendulum. The further you go from where you want to go, if you let it, you can go faster and always make your goal happen. Make your desire a reality if you let it. So, that said, always remember, we're not fighting our past or our present health situation, financial situation, relationship situation. We're not doing that. We're making peace with what we want to achieve. Again, you and your super self mentally and emotionally are becoming one. And the more you train yourself on that frequency, and the more you become mentally and emotionally your super self, one day you will open and see your super life before your very eyes. Next, you want to remember that the whole universe is with you, is rooting for you. You know why? Because energy flows where your focus goes. Of course, now the bad news is that the whole universe could be against you if you're focusing in the wrong direction. So the whole universe is with you as long as you are with you. As long as you make the effort to focus towards where you want to go, let go of everything else, let go of your past, let go of your distractions, and make sure that you are monomaniacally focused if possible. I know it's a bit laborious in the beginning. I had much trouble with it myself. Going through social media also doesn't help. We all have become kind of ADHD in this day and age, but we want to make sure that we are practicing and flexing this muscle of focus and attention, and we are making sure that as much as possible during the day, especially when we get distracted, we are operating from the state of our super self. We don't think of our super self in the future. we operate from. It's a completely different state of mind, and it takes some effort in the beginning, but it becomes easier and easier and more accessible. And the more you operate from that state, the easier everything becomes. And of course, that means that you are asking for help. And this is why you've heard me many times say, or you read in my daily thoughts of inspiration, simply hit reply and ask your question or share with me the challenge that you have. Because as Tony Robbins beautifully says, the smaller the problem, the easier it is for it to be solved. So many people are leaving that problem to become humongous and in a way that it is virtually impossible to be resolved or transmuted to another problem. So always remember that I am here for you in many various forms with my daily thoughts of inspiration, these coaching webinars, and so on. And for those of you who are interested, I want you once again to remind you that you still have time to enroll in my coaching program. If you simply go to angelolabro.com/coaching and make sure, or you can just hit reply to start the enrollment process. We will go through some Q&A before we begin. You're not signing up, you're not giving your credit card or anything. I want to make sure that we are the right fit and that you are in the state, let's say, where you say, I have a clear I have some clarity where I want to go and I have some challenges. I am coachable. It's very important for me, right? I can tell. I can tell if you want to stick to that victim attitude or if you really want to change. And from that point and on, you know that I will be giving you so much more attention and so much more personalized solutions, attitude shifts, and belief busting and boosting, belief boosting, because we don't want to bust the old beliefs. We want to boost ourselves to the beliefs of our super self. And we will work together so that you can make this your best year yet. You can turn your vision into a reality and make sure that you are starting to operate from this winning attitude from now on and the rest of your life. So before I leave you, I want to give you two exercises. As always, there's nothing will happen if you don't do the work, right? So exercise number one, take your notebook and write success or success, meaning that you are only giving yourself one choice. There are two choices, but basically it's one. And afterward, you want to write your success manifesto, your declaration of success for this year, for the next 3 months, whatever, or for the next 3 years, or 10 years if you want to make it like a big goal for you. Some of you have like really looking forward. You don't care about what is going on this week or this month. So if your vision is, like many years ahead, you want to make sure that you're deciding again today and you're committing to that vision, and you make that declaration and you sign it so that you can seal that contract with yourself. And by the way, contracts with yourself have no legal meaning, but at the same time, they have immense emotional value in the soul level. This is why you're doing it. And this, make it as emotional as possible. Make it memorable. Make it so energetically and emotionally intense that years from now, you will remember that day. And if it is actually today, it is March 5th, 2024. Maybe you remember the time also, or you make a note of it, as I did when I downloaded the idea of daily thoughts of inspiration almost 10 years ago. And you know that something great begins with that attitude. Second exercise. For the next 30 days, what you want to do is to put your attention on your attitude and your body language, and make sure that your body language reflects who you need to be mentally and emotionally so that you can achieve your goals. And if you feel that you're a bit sluggish or your attitude demonstrates that you are, let's say, have assumed a losing attitude, make that shift immediately. You have your body as your indication if you're going right or wrong, in the same manner as you have your emotions. But with your body, maybe for many of you, it is much easier to do so simply because you can notice your body. Everything that is tangible, everything that you can see, hear, smell, taste, or touch, it is easier for you to grasp than an intangible thing like a thought or a feeling. So, that said, I want you to remember that everything changes for you the moment you make a sincere decision. And the moment you say, I sincerely, completely, and irrevocably decide this, that, or the other, and basically what you mean, because every one of us have different goals, what we are all saying at the same time is that we commit to make ourselves and our supercells one and start operating from that state, from that attitude, and turn our vision into a reality. I'm so grateful for your attention and your participation. If you have any question, not only about the coaching program that I have re-announced, but also regarding the content today, I know it was a bit, like challenging. I was going through some things from the Greek Revolution that you might not be as accustomed as I am, for example, and things like that. But at the same time, always remember that we are not here to just talk about things. We are here to make all these uncomfortable changes so that we can turn our vision into a reality. And if you were uncomfortable, don't feel bad about it. Embrace it and capitalize on it so that you can make the necessary changes. And hit reply on any of my daily thoughts of inspiration. Send me a message on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Just make sure that you're asking for help, and I will do my very best, regardless if we work together in my coaching program or not. We will work together. I will be giving you answers. Maybe it is going to be through the next masterclass, or maybe through a video, or maybe I will simply answer personally to you, right to you. In any case, ask for the help that you need. Resolve what needs to be resolved. Go through around whatever it takes, all the challenges that are in your way, and make sure you're marching happy and unstoppable towards your destination. So, if we don't meet in one of the sessions of my private coaching and group coaching calls, always remember that we will meet again for sure next month for another life coaching masterclass. And of course, we will be meeting every single day through the daily source of inspiration and all the other content that I will be giving to you to make sure you're marching happy and unstoppable in all the various social media. So see you next month. Ciao, ciao.